My Lords, I beg leave to ask the question standing in my name on the order paper.
My Lords, we are delivering the largest expansion of childcare in England's history. Latest projections show that more than 150,000 new funded places will be secured by April. We expect that number to grow, collectively saving parents more than £500 million in costs. We continue to support the sector's expansion with £400 million of additional funding to uplift hourly rates next year and a guarantee that rates will increase in line with cost pressures for 2 years after that.
My Lords, on these benches we agree with the ambition of the policy, but delivery on the expansion of the free childcare scheme is falling short, with the charity Core and Family in Childcare finding that parents in some parts of the country are spending over 50% of their income on childcare, and with children needing to be registered for nurseries before they are born. What more is the government doing to ensure parents and children get the expansion of the free childcare they have been promised?
Yeah. I think it's slightly curious to say that delivery is falling short when the new entitlements start in April of this year, but the Noble Lady knows that we've made a significant investment in capital to support local authorities. We've made a number of innovations in relation to the workforce, and the uptake of the scheme has been very encouraging, and most importantly, and I think the Institute of Fiscal Studies has confirmed this, we have announced very generous funding rates, particularly for younger children.
My Lords, I think we're sort of surprised at the confidence of the Minister, given that in the last 12 months we've seen a 50% increase in the number of nurseries that have closed in just the last year. 40% of nurseries say they're undecided as to whether they will deliver the new funded offer for 2-year-olds, and 20% saying they will do, but it'll be limited places. Why is the Minister so confident that this scheme, well, we hope she's right, but can she give us more reassurance as to why she thinks this will definitely happen?
So, in terms of confidence, I think the first thing I would say is, of course, both the Noble Lady and the Noble Lord are right in the sense this is a very ambitious expansion of childcare, but the really significant increase in capacity will be in September 2025. So we've got some time to put in place what is needed to deliver on that. I know the Noble Lord talked about the number of nurseries that have closed, but I know he's also aware that actually the childcare workforce has gone up year on year, 2023 over 2022, and is up by 40,000 places. Sorry, the number of places has increased in the last 5 years by 40,000, where there's been a 1% annual decline in 0 to 5-year-olds.
My Lords, I understand that there have been reports suggesting that the pressure on childcare places will cause special needs children to be squeezed out of the provision. Could my noble friend clarify this situation?
So, we're aware of the concerns that my noble friend refers to, and the House also knows that we're doing a great deal to create a fairer special needs system. One of the key things here is the phased implementation of the expansion to the 30 hours offer, to make sure that we develop and continue to monitor the capacity for children with special educational needs.
So why does it take a crisis before the government acts? Isn't there any forward planning in her department that identifies need and then does something before it becomes a crisis?
Well, I don't know. Some people might recognise that the government is making a very, very substantial investment in this area. We've already spent more than £20 billion over the last 5 years to support families with the cost of childcare, and this next step will be another major one.
I really don't think that the House would wish to cast aspersions on the intention of this policy. Most people would think it good and worth supporting. However, can the Noble Lady say whether there is an accurate match between the funds which will be available to the sector from the government to support this expansion and the need that they have identified for the funds in order to do it successfully? Because I think she will agree that there has been some doubt as to whether those two numbers match.
Well, I genuinely thank the Noble Lady for her question, because it gives me the opportunity to set out a couple of things. So I think one perhaps might want to look at funding rates for different ages of children to see whether there's sufficient funding. The funding for 3 to 4-year-olds is almost identical on the new scheme to previous rates. For 2-year-olds, the government will be paying £8.28 an hour compared to £6.07 previously, and for those between 9 months and 2 years, £11.22 compared to £6.05. I leave the Noble Lady to draw her own conclusions.
The Noble Lady, could the Noble Lady help me? Thank you. The Noble Lady spoke about entitlement. Could she tell me what's the difference between entitlement and delivery?
Well, the government has committed to deliver the number of childcare places needed for those who are eligible and seek to take advantage of the opportunity the government offers.
Would the Noble Lord the Minister agree that many families up and down Britain are tearing their hair out over the cost and difficulty of accessing quality, affordable childcare? So clearly delivery is crucial, but would you also agree that childcare is one part of the jigsaw puzzle, that many families, working families in Britain, are also worried about security of employment, predictability of working hours and income in order to be able to access childcare, and that what we really need is a new deal for working people that delivers that security as well as childcare provision?
Well, I know the Noble Lady is well aware of the very substantial increases that we've made in the national living wage. But I think, just to put it in context, the 30 hours of free childcare is equivalent to just under £7,000 per child, which I think the Noble Lady will agree is a very substantial contribution to the average family income.
My lords, one of the best things we ever had under Tony Blair 20-odd years ago was the show start. We had it all over the country. And the children sort of benefited. Why can't we introduce that full show start like we had 20-odd years ago, again, so the children can benefit up and down the country?
Well, I'm not sure time permits me to go into everything regarding Sure Start, but I would draw the Noble Lord's attention to the family hubs that the government is rolling out around the country. And I think the learning that we took from Sure Start and have put into the family hubs is the focus on disadvantage and the length of time that families can get support. So Sure Start, understandably, was focused on very young children, but actually those of us who are parents know that one might need support with one's children at different points as they grow up, and that's one of the philosophies behind the family hubs.
The lady has looked at comparative data which shows that childcare is so much more expensive and the requirements here so much more stringent than in other countries around the world. And it is also the case that calculations have been done in the States that if all childcare was absolutely free, it would eventually be covered by the tax returns from women who would be freed up, women and other parents, of course, who would be freed up to go back to work.
I think that's exactly what the government is delivering, and exactly those calculations were behind the government's decision to make such an increase. We'll be spending in 27-28, we'll be spending in excess of £8 billion on free childcare hours and early education. And just to make sure that the Noble Lady is aware, from September 2025, there will be 30 hours of free childcare from when a child is 9 months old until they start school.